Welcome back. Tremendously terrific Thursday. I am Dwayne Langham. This is the Ave, Yolo Ave, the road least traveled, and you have just tuned in for another live YouTube broadcast. On a side note, I hope you're checking out the social media, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. I'm hitting all of them all day, keeping you posted behind the scenes, all that good stuff. Facebook page, of course. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, every day, Monday through Friday. Watching these crows fly around, watching birds in flight is a beautiful thing for me. That's my signal, my spiritual signal for freedom. Soar, enjoy yourself, have fun. It's all around. All right. So what are we talking about today? What's the title of the video? What if it's your job? What am I talking about? What if it's your job? What if what? What if success was your job? Would that change things? Would that change perspectives? Would that change your thoughts, your actions? Well, what would that change? What if it was my job? Okay. So let's take it this way. I was watching a video yesterday. A pastor was sitting in a Rolls Royce, and he's talking about debt and slavery, and how the system, education system, social system, conditions you to no longer be an involuntary slave, picking up, literal physical change. Instead, you pick up the MasterCard. You can have your own thoughts about the background behind that. And instead, enslaving you through debt, all right? Voluntarily. Sign on that money. The credit is not from God. Have your own beliefs, not a religious or spiritual conversation, but it indebts you financially. The love of money is the root to all evil, not the money itself. So anyway, amongst that, he touches on some good points about the job, how you get conditioned to take on a job. And then when you talk to somebody about, well, why don't you be an entrepreneur? Why don't you be a business person? Right? And people, oh no, that's not me. I can't do that. I'm not a people person. I don't want to be responsible for others. Things like that. And really it's a perspective of the system, because you see, entrepreneurship is like this new coin term that we've got in the last, 30, 50 years or so. And really, it's funny because we use words as a symbol to represent something. It doesn't mean that that thing is necessarily real, right? What do I mean by that? Well, entrepreneurship is simply somebody willing to go outside the box. You have no industry, you have no career per se until you choose it, until you make it, create it, make your own lane, make your own path. But that person willing to go outside the box, not just following the path of get the education, get the job, go serve in one particular place, but the person who sees a problem and goes and solves it. Well, funny, what does that sound like? Let's go back to the primitive days of the village. Well, if I decide that I'm going to be over here working with this iron in the fire, making swords and shields, chainmail, armor, I'm a blacksmith. I'm an entrepreneur. I've gone into business for myself. I'm serving the community, thriving, finding success through that. Now, back in those days, that's nothing more than a job, a craft, just what you did. I tell you all the time, somebody was a hunter, somebody was great with food, somebody was teaching the children, somebody was out there making the armor, the weapons. But nowadays, when we've all been conditioned, when the educational system doesn't teach us about financial abundance, it doesn't teach us about life skills, it teaches what's happened in the past, and it conditions us to fall in line. Sit straight, be quiet, do what you're told, follow instructions. Are you trainable, teachable? Can you work a job? Can you be an employee? My own personal views, but not the point of the conversation. Which is why when now somebody hears, oh, why don't you be an entrepreneur? Why don't you go in business for yourself? Why don't you go change things? It's not for me. Nobody's laid out the security, the benefits. The benefits. Wow. Yeah, what does that mean? What does that say about you, about life? When stepping out to just provide value, do something you enjoy doing, a craft, something you don't mind. You know, we weren't born into the world being a blacksmith, being a hunter, but we found our way through life. Oh, and this is the thing I like. This is the thing I want to go be an apprentice and study for under this person. Back then, it didn't cost you $20,000, $30,000. You just went and did the thing, learned how to do it because you wanted to help. You became somebody's apprentice and helped them. They helped you and showed you the skills. And through mentorship, now you're doing it. You're a primitive entrepreneur, business person. Nowadays, you can't really see that. You see the lack of security. You see the lack of benefits. You see nobody giving you the structure to follow because that's what you've been conditioned for over a decade to do. Where do I sit in line? How do I play my part to get this check so I can feel safe and secure with my benefits? And the reality is, if you're not paying attention to life, if you haven't experienced this depression, recession, the even still current state of the financial situation, there is no security. The most secure job can be wiped out. The government can be wiped out if you're not paying attention to who's in control and what's going on. There is no security. But see, the one thing people weren't looking for back in the primitive days, if you were to be a blacksmith, if you were to be, a hunter-gatherer, if you were just to serve, a fisherman, whatever the case, no one was worried about security. It was just how could they give? And in exchange, they got value back, which allowed them to survive, not only survive, but thrive, grow, be abundant, and prosper, multiply, all that good stuff. Leave something behind, a craft, a skill, a reputation for your next and next and next to follow. So now let's bring it back in. What if it was your job to be successful? What is that shift and change for you? Well, first and foremost, you are no longer a victim. You are no longer waiting, blaming, complaining, looking for someone else to do it. Why? Because it's your job. This is your life. This is your legacy, your children. What does it have to do with anyone else? No, I don't care who's in control. Guess what? They're not really in control. Did you know that our vote, technically, supposedly, decides who gets to sit there? Did you know that the system we approve, that we protest, lobby, and decide ultimately who gets to make the decisions, how the decisions get made, what won't go or will go? Did you know that you are paying the bills? It's called taxes. You fund it. It's your White House. It's your government, your democracy. It's your political party. Do you know that? So why is it that you sit back and blame or wait or expect someone to give you the hand up? Or you can't have it. It's just not for you in life. What if it was your job? And something I just really can't let go of right now in the thought is even looking at it. If you're born here in America, I'm sorry, you're spoiled. You got a silver spoon. The majority of the rest of the world can live off of $2 a day. And you're complaining because of Section 8, food stamps, unemployment, the subsidies that are there to help us sustain and make it through hard times, like the poorest of our poor. Even if you're homeless, you can stand on the corner and get more than $2 a day. Like really putting it into perspective. Because see, you hear about the story of Gary Vaynerchuk, immigrants. Think about that. People leave their home, leave where they're born, leave the world as they know it. Can you imagine that? If you were brought into America and it was not a place to thrive, if it wasn't the land of the free, if it wasn't the greatest place on earth, if it wasn't make it great again, could you imagine being born here and it's that kind of circumstance and you actually have to go to Africa? I need to get away to London. I need to get away to Switzerland. I need to get to Denmark. I need to get to Czechoslovakia. I've got to get to the United Arabs. I got to get out of here. I want to make something of myself. I want to have a life. This ain't for me. This dictatorship, this oppression, this struggle, this lack of opportunity. This ain't life. That's somebody's perspective, and then they come here hungry, ready to go get it. Why? Because it's their job. They've taken it on as a purpose. They've taken it on that they're going to make something out of this thing, right? They don't just wake up every day to wake up. So that's really taking a perspective. I'm sorry, this is going to be a long one because I'm going through a lot of thoughts right now. Yeah, these are all freestyle. That's why it's live. I love it. You're with me for the journey. So, what if it's your job, I ask? What if it's your job that you leave a legacy? What if it's your job that you find a way, that you make it happen? What if it is your job? Do you wake up early? Absolutely. Do you have time to not feel like it? No. When your boss tells you, you start at 8 a.m. When your boss tells you, you get 15 minutes for a break. You get 30 minutes for a lunch, hour for a lunch. When your boss tells you it's Monday through Friday. When your boss tells you it's overtime. When your boss tells you, I need you to come in this weekend. You do it. For that snuggled up security, for that blanket of benefits, you do it. And that doesn't even leave anything for your children. Your children don't inherit that job. Your children don't take on that craft and career. Likely they see how whatever state you may be going through your job, and they want nothing to do with it. They run in the other direction. Tell them you can be anything. Pardon my slavery over here, my voluntary slavery. What if it was your job? What if you lived every day like if you didn't, you get fired and life is over? Wake up. That's the truth. If you don't go out here and get it, nobody is going to give it to you. If you sit back here as a victim, like, oh, it just wasn't destined, it just wasn't in the cards, one day God will. I don't feel like it today. It's hard. I'm tired. What if it was your job? Why don't you approach your life like it's your job? I'm up here making these videos. I'm out here coaching, giving value. It's not just about the money. This is my job. I'm here for something. I'm here for you. I'm here for us. I'm here to make things happen. What if it's your job to be the difference? Parents didn't. Last generation didn't. My aunts and uncles don't. Everybody around me doesn't. The neighborhood doesn't. Nobody does. This is average. Go get a job. Be humble. Money ain't everything. Success ain't everything. No, wait. What if it's my job? You want to build an empire, want to build a legacy, or you just want to enjoy the shiny things in life. You just want to enjoy your life. You want to thrive in life and not be in scarcity, lack. You want a piece of abundance, prosperity. You want to have more than enough. What if it was your job? Would you do things the same way? Simple question. So if you haven't already gotten the message, here's just a bottom line, honest question to ask yourself every day. What if it was my job? The next time you're tired, ask yourself, what if it was your job? You think about having kids, the responsibility. It's expensive. Never ready to have kids. I got 2 and I'll tell you that. What if it was your job? What if that dream, that freedom, that idea, the song on your heart, the beat of your drum, what if it was your job? Not just a thought. But fam, if you don't do it, kiss that blanket goodbye. If you don't do it, end of the month, you're going to have some problems. If you don't do it, you're out on the streets. If you didn't find your purpose in life, if you didn't serve your passion in life, if you didn't find and do what God put you here to do in life, what if it was over? What if you got fired? Take that in perspective, fam. Would it change things? Would you think differently? Would you act differently? Would you talk differently? Would you walk differently? Yeah, that's a person on fire. That's somebody with a reason to be here, with a reason to be alive. So when do you want to take self-evaluation? When's it time to come into the boss's office? Have a performance check. See if it's time for us to do some downsizing and get rid of you. Well, today is the best day of your life. Why is that? Because it's the first day to the rest of your life. And last I checked, there is no better time to be powerful, to clock in, Get on your job and get to work. I'm already clocked in, putting in overtime every day. So best believe I'm gonna be right here on the Ave. Wishing you the best and only success. Peace.